There was a moment when he could have begged. He stood at the edge of the forest, thin from 3 days without food, his ribs pressing against his silver fur like fingers reaching through skin. The wind was cold, the night was darker than usual, and just 50 steps away, the pack was eating. He could smell the meat, he could hear them tearing into it. Growling, satisfied, alive. All he had to do was walk over, lower his head, show them his belly, submit, and they would have let him eat. But he didn't move. He stood there, alone in the dark, hunger burning in his stomach like fire, and he made a choice that would change everything. He turned around and walked back into the shadows. This is the story of a wolf who refused to beg, and what that cost him, and what it gave him in return. His name, if wolves had names, would have been something like Storm, not because he was loud, but because, like a storm, he carried something powerful inside him that the world hadn't seen yet. He was born into a strong pack, a pack with a clear alpha, clear rules, and a clear pecking order. Every wolf knew their place. Every wolf knew who ate first, who slept where, who mattered. And for a long time, Storm believed he had a place too. He hunted well, he ran fast. When the pack chased elk through the frozen valley, Storm was always near the front. His paws barely making a sound on the snow, his eyes locked on the target like dark stones. He pulled his weight, he gave everything, but something shifted. The alpha began choosing favorites, not the strongest wolves, not the smartest, the ones who followed without thinking, the ones who lowered their heads quickly, the ones who never challenged, never questioned, never held their gaze a second too long. Storm wasn't built that way. He didn't growl or fight, he didn't cause trouble. But there was something in his eyes, a quiet fire, that made certain wolves uncomfortable, because a wolf with that kind of look doesn't disappear quietly, slowly, without a single word spoken. He began to feel the distance growing. He would bring back a kill and find the others had already eaten. He would find his sleeping spot taken. He would approach the group and watch them shift, just slightly. Like water moving away from a stone, not rejection with teeth and blood, something worse. The kind of rejection that pretends it isn't happening. Then came the winter that broke many things. The storms were brutal that year. Food was scarce. The elk had moved further south. The pack was hungry and short-tempered, and hungry wolves are not kind wolves. One night, after a failed hunt, the alpha led the pack to a frozen riverbank where alone Deria had died. In Viti Vintiti Saitu, it wasn't much for a pack their size, but it was something. Storm was there when they found it. He had run just as far, fought just as hard in the cold. His paws were bleeding from the ice, and then the alpha looked at him and looked away. And the pack closed in around the carcass. No space was made, no look given, no acknowledgement. He was right there, and he was invisible. Something rose in his chest, hot and sharp, not anger, something more dangerous than anger. Hunger for approval. He felt the pull, deep in his gut, to walk forward, to whine softly, to press his nose low to the ground, and approach with his tail curled under him and his eyes down, to beg, just this once, just for tonight, just to survive. He took one step forward and then he stopped, because something older than hunger spoke inside him, something that had no words but felt like a law, like gravity, like the turning of seasons. If you beg tonight, you will beg forever. Once you lower yourself for their acceptance, you will spend your whole life at that level. You will eat, but you will never be full. He stepped back, turned around, and walked alone into the dark forest. The days that followed were the hardest of his life. Alone, in winter, with no pack to hunt with, Survival is not poetic. It is brutal and quiet and slow. He caught small things. A rabbit here, a bird there. Some days, nothing at all. He slept in hollows under fallen trees, curled into himself against the cold, and listened to the wind move through the branches above him. There were moments, honest moments, when he doubted himself. Was I wrong? Was my pride just foolishness? Would a smart wolf have stayed? Those thoughts came at night, mostly when the cold was sharpest, when the silence felt like a punishment instead of a choice. But here is what loneliness does when you sit with it instead of running from it. It teaches you who you actually are. Without the pack's approval to define him, Storm had to find his own definition. Without their eyes watching, judging, accepting, or rejecting, he had nothing to perform for. No hierarchy to impress, no status to protect. Just himself, just the forest, just the truth. And slowly, the way seasons change, not all at once, but in small invisible shifts, something in him became solid. He learned the forest in a way most wolves never do. He learned which trails the elk used when the western wind blew. He learned which frozen streams were safe to cross and which would crack under weight. He learned patience so deep, it felt like stillness carved into stone. He didn't become harder, he became clearer. And a wolf who knows exactly who he is a wolf who cannot be broken. Spring came slowly, and with it, a sickness moved through the valley. The elk grew thin and strange. Several died in ways that confused the pack. The prey was harder to read, harder to track, moving unpredictably. Hunts that should have succeeded kept failing. The pack was weakening, not from laziness, but from not understanding what had changed. Word moves through a forest, the way water moves through soil, invisible, but always arriving. A lone wolf had been hunting successfully all winter in the eastern forest. He moved without sound. He knew the new patterns of the elk. He had survived alone when survival seemed impossible. They found him on a ridge above the valley, watching the land below. The alpha came, not with aggression, not with warmth, with something rarer, need. And Storm did something that surprised them all. He didn't make them beg. He didn't perform his pain for them. He didn't list everything they had taken from him. He simply looked at the alpha, steady, calm, unhurried, and said nothing for a long moment. Then he turned and began walking into the forest. The pack followed. He led them through the new elk trails he had mapped. He showed them without words, through movement and silence and precision, exactly how to hunt the changed land. That evening, the pack ate well for the first time in weeks, and when they settled in the dark, something had shifted in the air. Every wolf could feel it. No one had declared it. No fight had decided it. No dead or fickle. But when Storm moved, the others watched. When he paused, they paused. When he chose a direction, they trusted it. Respect doesn't announce itself. It simply arrives like the morning, because it was always coming. And here is the thing about Storm's story that matters most. He didn't win by fighting. He didn't earn respect by demanding it. He didn't reclaim his dignity by making others feel small. He simply refused to lose it in the first place. The moment he walked away from that carcass, cold, bleeding, hungry, alone, that was the moment everything changed. Not because the world rewarded him instantly. It didn't. The world gave him cold nights and empty, stomach silence, solates, it Hirschend. But he walked out of that season with something no pack can give you and no one can take away. He walked out knowing exactly who he was, and people, like wolves, can feel that in another. You don't need to announce your strength. You don't need to perform it, beg for recognition of it, or dress it up in loud words. When someone knows who they are, truly knows, the room feels it. The silence holds it. The eyes of others find it even when they're trying not to. So here is the wolf rule, the real one. The one that Storm lived so hard, it became part of his bones. Never beg for attention from people who chose to overlook you. Never lower yourself for acceptance from those who don't see your worth. Never trade your dignity for a seat at a table that was never meant for you. Walk away, even when it is cold, even when it hurts, even when the voices in your head whisper that you are making a mistake. Walk away. Build your strength in silence. Learn your forest. Master your craft. Become so clear in who you are that the world has no choice but to feel it. Because begging buys you a meal, but dignity builds a legacy. The wolf who refuses to beg is not the wolf who stops needing. He is the wolf who decides, quietly, completely, without apology, that he is worth more than what he would have to become to get it. Walk like a wolf, not because the path is easy, but because you already know. You were never meant to beg.